So good afternoon everyone. We are here on the second video for our tutorial. So right now we will be creating a simple application that shows intent. So intent is actually a way for your application to change from one page to another. If you have already started or um, created web pages or websites, this is similar to a link. So this intent actually allows you to go, for example, from a sign-in page to a home page or a profile page. Okay, so let's start a new Android Studio project and let's name it new intent. Then make sure that this is API 17. The rest you can leave it blank. Empty activity. Then leave the main activity as is. So in this project, we will not be using any asset or images unlike the first one. So we will just be plainly showing how to switch pages. So for the first part, we will be going to our activity underscore minute SAML. Then we will be changing this layout into, from relative layout, we will be using linear layout. So notice that as I change the first tag of this linear layout or relative layout, it also changed the closing tag. And for the linear layout, we will be deleting some properties that are not usable for this kind of layout. So let's delete all the paddings and the tools. Then let's replace with Android orientation and set it to horizontal. You can also delete this entire text view since we will not be needing this one. Next, let's go to the design view, and as you can see, our application is empty. So we will first use a plain text, a text field. Place it here. Notice that as the only or the only component in this page with the wrap content layout width, it occupies the entire width of the phone itself or the device itself. Let's edit the ID and set this to send or edit message. Also, let's define a hint here in the text part. So Android hint string edit message. So this will pose an error because we have not yet created this in our strings.xml. So let's do that right now to remove the error. Message here. Okay. Also, let's enter one for our button. Button send and send message. Let's also add that specific button in our design. So let's look for the button component here in the palette and drag it here. Notice that the edit message component or the text field message component automatically adjusted itself to make sure that both of them will fit in the same row. So let's go to the text and here Android hint, or rather instead of Android hint we will be using text at string buttons. So it already updated here. Notice also that they are both in wrap content here in the layout width and height. Let's also change the ID. Instead of button, let's have button sent to be more specific. Of course, since our intent will rely on clicking a button, we need to trigger the intent on click. So we will be creating here an on click send message. So this doesn't make sense right now, but after we add this send message function or method in our main activity Java, we will be able to use it already. So public void send message, and make sure you have the parameter view. Again, if it's red, just press Alt and Enter to import the necessary Java files. Let's also define a static string inside the main activity class. So let's name it public final static string extra message. So we will be using this later on in our intent. Next, let's add code for starting the intent. So intent is actually two-way. You create one from here, and then you will be getting it or receiving it in the next page. So, and this display message. So right now, this part will have an error because we have not yet created that file. But later on, we will be able to correct this one. Next, let's define the edit text or the text field that we created earlier. Again, if there are parts like this, just need to press Alt Enter to import the necessary Java files. This part we are already getting the text and converting it to string to be assigned to this message variable, which is also expecting a string. After that, we can already use the intent we initialized the first line, and let's add put extra. This is the part where we will use that extra message we instantiated a while ago. So this is a variable name, and we will be assigning the value based from what we will be getting from this row. And we start the activity passing on the intent as our object. Okay, so right now we're already done with this page. This will be resolved on the next part that we will be doing, which is creating a new blank activity. We can do that by right-clicking this app folder here, select new, then under activity, choose a blank or a basic or an empty activity. Blank or empty activity. So we will have here these details, and you need to specify it as follows. Display message activity. You don't need to edit this, as this will be automatically changed based on your activity name. You don't need to check this one. Click finish. So notice that the main activity.java has already corrected this one, since you already have the display message activity.java or this class. Next, on this part, we will not be needing this on our constructor or on create class, because what we will be needing is that we will be placing here the message that we passed from the previous page. So delete this first one. Then we will be receiving the intent from here. Again, since it's not imported, Alt Enter will do the job. So string message goes to intent.get string extra. So this one refers to the my activity or extra message that was implemented a while ago. So my activity for main activity dot extra message. So this extra message actually pertains to this one. So it is receiving already the get. Since we put an extra on this part, it will be getting the string extra with the variable names extra message from the main activity class, which has the value of whatever we have typed or we will be typing in the edit message text field. So next is text view. We will be instantiating a new text view through the Java code instead of creating it in the activity in the XML file. So again, if it's import class view, so we can also change the size of the text, and then finally we will be assigning the message, and then of course we have already did everything. So we have received the intent, we have already received the extra string or the extra message from the first uh, main activity, and then we have already created a text view from, instead of using the XML page, we use it from here, from the Java class. We have changed the font size. We've already assigned the message we received to that specific component we created. But of course, we need to set the content view and pass the variable of text view so that it will be appearing later on when we run our application. So I already have here the emulator. I will just need to click run and then choose Nexus, and then let's wait for the emulator to load. So now that we have already pulled out our emulator, let's try if this application is working. So let's type here Carlos was here, then send a message. And as you can see, we already navigated to a new intent or a new activity page, wherein our um, text from the first page was passed through and was received here and displayed in the new page. So basically, that is how an intent works. If you want to go back, just click the back button here. Then you can type anything like hehehe or where's that intent? Okay, any message. So it appears here. So that concludes our video for the intent. The last video I will be making will be about the animation. So we will be creating a Christmas card with music. So please wait for my next upload. Thank you very much.